When someone asks how you're doing, what do you say? Busy, swamped, crazy, overwhelmed? It's become the default answer, hasn't it? The badge we wear, the way we signal that we matter, that we're needed, that we're productive. But when did being busy become the goal? When did constant motion become the measure of a meaningful life? But more importantly, how's that working for you? Because I'm guessing if you're listening to this, it's not working. Not really. You're exhausted. You're running on fumes. You're moving from task to task without ever feeling like you're actually getting anywhere. And you know something needs to change. You know this pace isn't sustainable. You know you can't keep going like this. But you don't know how to stop. You don't know how to slow down. You don't know what would happen if you actually paused. And if that's you, I see you, I understand, and I want to offer you a different way. Not a way that requires you to quit everything or escape to a mountain or abandon your responsibilities, but a way to move through your life with more ease, more intention, more sustainability. A way to cultivate rhythms instead of constantly rushing, to find flow instead of force, to be productive without being depleted. So let's talk about what's actually happening when we're stuck and busy. First, we're usually confusing motion with progress. We think if we're constantly moving, constantly doing, constantly producing, we must be getting somewhere. But are we? Or are we just busy? Busy doesn't always equal meaningful. Motion doesn't always equal progress. Doing doesn't always equal achieving. Sometimes we're just spinning, just filling time, just avoiding something we don't want to face. And that's exhausting, because it's effort without direction, motion without meaning, busy without purpose. Second, we're probably using busy as an identity. If I'm busy, I must be important. I must be needed. I must matter. And if I slow down, if I rest, if I have space, what does that say about me? Am I lazy? Am I falling behind? Am I less than? We've tied our worth to our productivity, our value to our output, our significance to how busy we are. And that's tragic, because you are valuable whether you're productive or not. You matter whether you're busy or not. You are significant whether you're rushing or resting. Your worth isn't earned by your busyness. It's inherent. It's always been there. Third, we're afraid of what we might feel if we stop. Because busy is numbing. It's distracting. It keeps us from having to sit with ourselves, from having to feel our feelings, from having to face what we're avoiding. And slowing down, it brings all of that up. The anxiety, the sadness, the uncertainty, the questions we don't want to answer. So we stay busy. We keep moving. We fill every moment with doing so we don't have to be. But here's the truth. Busy isn't sustainable. This pace isn't maintainable. This constant motion, it's going to catch up with you. Through burnout, through illness, through breakdown, through relationships falling apart, through losing yourself completely. So we need a different way. We need rhythms that are sustainable, patterns that actually support us, ways of moving through life that don't deplete us. And that starts with permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to rest. Permission to do less. I know that feels impossible. I know you have obligations. I know you have responsibilities. I know you have people depending on you. But you also have yourself depending on you. Your body depending on you. Your mental health, your future depending on you. And if you burn out completely, you won't be able to show up for anyone, including yourself. So slowing down isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's sustainable. It's wise. Here's how we start cultivating sustainable rhythms. First, we identify what actually matters. Not everything on your to-do list is equally important. Not every commitment is essential. Not every obligation is necessary. So get clear. What actually matters? What actually moves the needle? what actually aligns with your values and goals and well-being. But what's just busy work? What's just obligation? What's just filling time? You can let some things go. You can say no. You can choose differently. Second, we build in rest, intentionally. Rest isn't something that happens when you're done with everything else, because you're never done. There's always more. Rest is something you schedule, something you protect, something you honor. Whether that's actual sleep, or a day off, or time without screens, or space to just be, it matters. It's necessary. It's part of the rhythm. Not as a reward for being productive, but as a requirement for being human. Third, we create boundaries around our time and energy. You don't have to be available all of the time. You don't have to respond immediately. You don't have to say yes to everything. You can have hours where you don't check email, days where you don't work, evenings where you're unavailable, weekends where you actually rest. Those boundaries, they're not rigid or restrictive. They're protective. They're sustainable. They're wise. And yes, people might push back. They might expect more. They might want constant access. But your well-being matters more than their convenience. Your sustainability matters more than their expectations. Your health matters more than their demands. So set the boundaries, protect the rhythms, honor the rest. Fourth, we practice being instead of just doing. Busy keeps us in doing mode constantly, but we're human beings, not human doings. And being, it's where we actually recharge, where we actually connect with ourselves, where we actually experience life instead of just rushing through it. So practice being, even for a few minutes, sitting, breathing, noticing, being present, not to accomplish anything, not to be productive, just to be. That's radical in a world that demands constant motion. That's revolutionary in a culture that glorifies busy. But it's also necessary, sustainable, life-giving. So here's what I want you to hear. You don't have to be busy to be valuable. You don't have to be constantly moving to be worthy. You don't have to exhaust yourself to matter. You can cultivate rhythms that actually sustain you. You can move through life with more ease. You can be productive without being depleted. It requires intention. It requires boundaries. It requires choosing yourself. But it's possible. It's available. It's waiting for you. Beyond busy, there's a different way, a sustainable way, a way that honors your humanity instead of demanding constant output. And you deserve that. You're worthy of that. You need that. So start today. One small shift, one boundary, one moment of rest. Build a rhythm that actually works. Create a pace that actually sustains you. Cultivate a life that doesn't require constant motion. You can do this, and you deserve this. If you ever need the reminder that you deserve a way of being that actually honors who you are, please come back. The light will always be left on for you.